Thanks again, Coach and Coach Tommy, for having me and talk a little bit about Binghamton University and international players. So first of all, I would like to talk a little bit about yourself. Tell me a little bit about your person. How long have you been in the business? And a couple of interesting facts.
So I'm from Binghamton. I grew up in the area. I played at Binghamton University from 2010 to 2014. And then right after my collegiate career, I joined the coaching staff at Binghamton.
I grew up in the capital region of New York, near Albany. I played at West Virginia University in the late 80s, and I started coaching there in the early 90s. I was there as a coach for 10 years, and then I came here, and I've been here now 16 seasons.
16 seasons, yeah. And you won a couple of championships already here, right?
Yeah, we hope to lift more trophies.
Lift more, that's the goal.
That's the plan.
Let's talk a little bit about you experienced some other soccer in different cultures. How was that for you so far?
So besides working at Binghamton University, I work for the NSCAA, which is now the United Soccer Coaches Association. And I think the time that I've got to travel and spend with that organization has certainly helped me develop as a coach. I've been very blessed. I've been to probably 11 or 12 different countries to study how they coach in education, how they interact with players, what they do on the field, what they do in classrooms. So it's been a wonderful experience. I've been to the World Cup. I've been to the last FA Cup at Wembley. So I've had some really neat soccer experiences,
yes,
including a few in Germany.
Yeah, 2006, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, you were in Brazil 2014.
Yeah.
How's the experience from the coaches over there? I mean, this is a religion, soccer is kind of a religion over there, and here we have still kind of the US developing the soccer, and then US coaches come over. How was their kind of hospitality and the experience you had with them? The way that they view the game is different. Here, it's more of something that people do. Where there, it's more of a way of life. Now, when you're embedded in the soccer culture here in the U.S. and you're in soccer, it's a way of life. But for our common, normal, everyday life people, they don't really talk about soccer. They might not even know what soccer is. They know it's a sport, but they don't really understand it. Where over there, you hear people talking in the cafe and the restaurants talking about the game and talking about the game coming up. So it is a different culture, similar to what perhaps our NFL would have here, our football here in the States, American football. But the biggest thing is each of those cultures have offered something a little unique. So in Holland, when I was there speaking to, people from referees to international coaches to the national team coaches to 3 or 4 different professional clubs, they all talked about the game revolving around the ball. And it's different because here in the States, we just talk about the game. And there, they only talk about the game as it relates to the ball. But yeah, I've been able to bring back some ideas from various countries: Scotland, England, Germany, France, Spain, Holland, Argentina, Bolivia, Brazil. So I have a few more, I'm sure. Great stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty neat.
Yeah. And you collecting scores, right? Too. So
yeah, I just started. I don't know how it happened, but I do. I enjoy a scarf. In fact, can you hand me that one? That's our scarf.
Yeah.
That's this year's scarf.
I like it. You changed the emblem too, so you can put it around your neck, right, and have the Bearcat.
Yeah, the Bearcats will come together right there.
Nice. You can show that in the camera. Yeah. Very nice. So why college? Why do you want to coach in college? What is different? What do you like so much about it? Maybe Tommy can talk about it.
Yeah, for me, it's a very high level. I mean, it's just under the professional level for amateur players and players that are still developing and growing up. And I love the opportunity that it presents for students and soccer players to be able to do their education and play at the highest level that they possibly can. And I think that's why you see these trends of players coming over from overseas. I think they realize this opportunity and they want to take advantage of it, just like all the American kids have.
Yeah, something.
Yeah, well, I think for me, I've always enjoyed the college life, the college process. I've enjoyed when, the guys come in at 17, 18 years old, and when they leave at 21, 22, 23-year-olds. That time that we're together, they're trying to figure out who they want to become, and I enjoy being a part of that. I enjoy watching them come in as young freshmen and leaving as seniors ready to go take the world on.
Yeah, definitely. It's an interesting experience from both sides, right? As a player and as a coach. And as you said, for the whole process, you guys invest a lot of time, money, everything into the players. Can you tell me a little bit more about what you give the players, what their experience are in the 4 years? Talk a little bit about that process, maybe.
It's hard to describe just because you give them the whole holistic environment. So their soccer needs are taken care of. We train every day. We have meals together during the season. It's very compact in a 3-month season. So we play 18 games in 3 months. So the team's together a lot. And then we give them everything from athletic support with strength and conditioning coaches to sports medicine trainers to full-time coaches, to academics where they have full-time academic advisors, tutors that they meet with, nutritionists that they meet with. So we really try and take care of the holistic student athlete during their time at Binghamton and college and all that.
Yeah, and like being in the best hotels, etc. It's very interesting to come to America and see this kind of what's going on here, because once you're in Germany, we go to all those phases in the youth, but it's not as professional. And then you come here and you pretty much play like a real professional. You try and travel all the time. You're not only in college, but you're also traveling 2 times, sometimes a week, or like a week sometimes, right? You guys try to, if we have had games in Washington, we try to have a couple of days so they can see some of the culture over there as well. So it is a very interesting approach, and a lot of people actually ask me when I give them presentations, how do they finance all of that? Is that through other students? I tell them sometimes about alumni. Is that basically it, or
well,
how can you?
Each of the universities are given budgets. We have a budget that we're given here at Binghamton University, and that allows us to do certain things. But I would agree with Tommy. I think that the guys are in a professional environment. They have wonderful facilities. They have great people who look after them and help them along their journey. They have a great responsibility. They have to come here. They have to be a good student. They have to enjoy their soccer, enjoy their football. They have to want to play and play at a high level. We have guys who want to go on and play professionally afterwards. So this is an avenue for them. The time commitment that the guys make is unbelievable to being the best that they can as a student and as a student athlete. But it's enjoyable. I mean, the guys are well taken care of, well fed. They travel great. Yeah, they're in a professional environment.
Yeah, very, very nice professional environment. Yeah. One thing that also students ask me when I do the presentations, like, how do I get a full scholarship? What do you need to do? Can you tell a little bit about what the expectations are from the coaches here in America and what players need to do? There's certain tests, right, you need to take. What do they need to do so they can increase the chance of a better scholarship?
Well, the first is to play at a Division I or Division II level, you need to have clearinghouse eligibility. So the NCAA clearinghouse will certify you amateurism and academics. So that's the first piece. And And the second piece is the Division I are allowed 9.9 scholarships for their entire team. So if you have a roster of 28 players, 26 players, you will only allow 9.9 scholarships through that entire team. So although it happens, it's rare that many players are on a full scholarship. The more full scholarships you give out, the less you can give out to other players. So on any given team, there may be a few guys on a lot of athletic aid. Some coaches decide to spread it through the 28 players. We kind of have a mix. It varies.
Okay. So, and an interesting fact, over the years you've been getting international players. Why do you like international players so much? I was the first German player in your system, and that changed too. In my last year, we had 4 people. What has changed the system? We had a lot of English guys. Can you tell me a little bit about your kind of evolving experience?
Yeah, so I think you just see trends with recruiting where you find little hot zones or little areas that are developing and producing some players. And I think previously English players and players from the UK, it was very popular for them to come over, and the Division I style of play was very similar to back home, so they could come in and fit right in. And then I think as soccer around the world changes a little bit, like you saw how Brazil had so much success and Spain had so much success and how Germany's having so much success, and that follows all the way down through the youth, where I think German players really started to shine, and more people as from the US and German players thought how this is a good opportunity, that they started to take advantage of it. And now you're starting to see a trend where there's a lot of Scandinavian players that are starting to come over, and Icelandics, and so it's kind of interesting to see the trends that start to happen of players coming over to play in the US.
Yeah. How has your experience been so far with like the German players?
Well, with international players in general, I feel like when they come, they add to your university as well as to your team. So it's great. I mean, when you see the international orientation here with all the flags up, it's wonderful. To be that diverse as a university is something special. I think in our team, you know, in any given year, we'll have probably 8 to 12 international players on it. Some of them have come right from their home countries, and others, maybe their parents have moved here a few years prior. Yeah. Perhaps the piece with the German players, as Tommy said, you know, each of them have certain pockets that all of a sudden pop up. Iceland obviously is one recently. With the German players itself, they're very good. You know, the German system has been very good now for many years. They hit a little dip and then they crushed it again. So for us, it was great to have a player such as yourself come and join our program. And then obviously Robert came, and then now we have 2 current guys on the team. So for us, it's been a great experience. The players that we brought over have been very, very good. And we're very happy with how they've done in the classroom as well as their connections within the team.
It's also interesting to see the relationship that other German players get from coming over. So just thinking about the players that you've played with and how that opened doors for other players to feel welcomed and to feel like home because there's another German here. So now how you were the lone German in the team and now we're able to bring in other Germans and they're able to feel welcomed and comfortable. I think that's a really nice feeling as well.
Yeah, I think I was one of the first players that came to America. I was like the organization, and it's been growing and growing ever since, and there's so many guys from Berlin that play around here in the US, and you always see some German playing against you at some team, you know. It's very interesting. It's kind of getting like a German community in the NCAA soccer world. It's interesting. So you have a little unique experience. I mean, you played with me, Robert, and how has it been to not only play with them or play with us, and then also coach them? Because
I mean, playing. I obviously enjoy playing with talented players such as yourself and Robert. I mean, they increase the standard. You guys have an expectation, similar to a lot of players over here. So obviously it was a joy to play with you guys. And then the German players, they come over with a tactical awareness that some American players don't necessarily have. So it's nice to be able to coach at a high level with these players because they already have a very good idea of the standard and knowledge of the game. So you have a starting point that's a little bit higher with the German players just because they're so tactically aware of the game and their decision making and quality on the ball and technique. So you kind of have a different starting point.
Yeah. So maybe something funny. What is like weird or interesting about us? You know, you've been with me for almost 5 years now. You had Robert for 3 years. You know, like how what can you say when it's like kind of like what are they doing? Like, you know, something funny, like some funny incident you had with us.
Well, you were a challenge, to be fair.
Yes.
Trying to figure out what we could get you that you could eat was a challenge at times. No, I honestly think that I would say that the way that you guys conduct yourselves, how you always are professional, you keep us on our toes. You know, if the coaching staff's not doing a good enough job, I think I would hear it from you. And I like that. I like that you have an expectation of the coaches. You know, there's too many times, especially now and today, you know, when the kids are growing up and, you know, you see your young players, most kids are good kids. They do what they're asked. They work hard. But they don't really have an expectation of their teachers, of their coaches. And I think that comes from the Germans. That when the international players, and not just Germans, but most international players, when they come over, they have an expectation that things will be professional, that things will be at a certain level, at a certain standard. And I enjoy that because I like to hold players to high standards. And I think that coaches should be held to them too. So I appreciate that.
Any funny incidents?
I'm sure Tommy has many.
Yeah. We had the conversation with Flo, Kevin, and Noah, and they were like, "This every 2 minutes is something happening." You know, they can't really tell you one thing, but maybe you have something that was funny.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough for the ones on camera, but I mean, just a funny language barrier one was when I know your English has vastly improved since you've been over to the U.S. So when Robert first came over, he was still figuring out everything, and the funniest one that had me cracking up was we have all our team meals together, so we were having breakfast or something like that, and he asked where the scissors were, and I'm like, the scissors? What do you need the scissors for, Robert? He's like, you know, the scissors. And he was asking for a fork, calling them scissors. So I thought that was funny, but it's nice how you guys embrace the American culture as well. You're still living in the U.S., so it's pretty cool. And then just your outgoing personalities. I mean, all 4 of you Germans are so outgoing and smiling and happy, and it's infectious to be around you guys because you guys are joking around, smiling, enjoying life. And
even at 7, yeah.
Makes you want to do the same.
Why Binghamton? I mean, it's a very great campus. It's very cold in the winter, but has lots of the good sides, and I enjoyed all my 4 years that I actually ended up being here, like 4.5. So,
well, I think that, you know, you find happiness if you can find the right place, the right people, and have the purpose that you're looking for. And I find that here. I get to work with great people. I enjoy the people that are around me, not just the guys in the team, but the department, the people in the community. And the place, I really enjoy a change of season. I don't know what I would do if I didn't see white snow. I enjoy snow. I don't enjoy the freezing cold, but I enjoy the snow. So I think that here, you know, it's not as windy as other places where they have snow. It's kind of in a little area that allows us to have 4 seasons. It's a great community. I enjoy, my kids enjoy the time here. They make great friends, and there's a lot to do as a family here in the upstate New York area. And then the purpose, I get to do soccer all the time. I mean, working full-time in soccer in the U.S. has been a joy. I thought I was going to end up being an engineer, a crane operator. I then wanted to be a teacher, and now I'm a soccer coach for the past 25 years. So I really enjoy it. I like what we do. I like how we've, each year you take a new group of guys and you try to take them someplace new. And this journey this year has just begun. Yeah.
I see you just started the season with a 4-0.
Yeah. Great way to kick the year off.
No. I wish you guys the best of luck. Thanks again for your time.
Thanks.
And keep rocking the season.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you.